Thank you very much indeed. Hello, I'm Alexander Armstrong, and welcome to Pointless, the show where the aim of the game is to avoid the obvious answers and find the obscure ones. Let's meet today's players. And couple number one.
Hi, I'm Claire. This is my boyfriend, Ricky. We're from Cork and live in London.
Couple number two.
Hi, I'm Joe. This is my friend James, and we're both from London.
Couple number three.
I'm Mike, and this is Mike, and we're from Paynton in Devon.
And finally, couple number four.
I'm Evie, this is Izzy, and we're housemates from Oxford.
And these are today's contestants. Thank you very much, all of you. Very warm welcome to Pointless. Lovely to have you here. That just leaves one more person for me to introduce. He's got lovely hair and a deluxe, ultra-comfortable ergonomic chair. They're not connected, but they rhyme. It's my Pointless friend. It's Richard.
Hiya. Hey, everybody. Hello there.
Hello there.
You've got a nice podium. Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah.
Now, it feels like so many familiar faces. I know. Ricky and Claire, welcome back. Third show. Been through to round two both times. It'd be nice to see you in a head-to-head. Talking of head-to-heads, multi-mic on podium 3 there. Been through to 2 head-to-heads.
I know. They're never not on the head-to-head.
They are never... I don't remember the last time there was a head-to-head that we didn't double mic.
Yeah.
You know? And Evie and Izzy, they only joined us for 1 round last time, but it felt like it went on for quite a long time.
Yeah.
So we went to a tie. They made a big impression.
They certainly did.
Is all I'm saying. And I would also say that round 1 on today's show would be a good round if you've got a scientific background. Say, for example, you were 2 doctors. Joe and James, welcome along. Lovely to have you here as well. You'll find us, we're a friendly bunch, I promise. By and large, aren't we?
Yeah, I think by and large.
Yeah, by and large.
Yeah. Rough with the smooth. Yeah. Karen and John, by the way, went through to the final last time. And, yeah, I'm just going to leave it up there, leave it hanging. No, I'm not. They didn't win the jackpot. We're adding another £1,000 to it. So today's jackpot starts off at £4,500. There we are. Right. If everyone's ready.
Someone just whispered under their breath, that's a shame. In the most sarcastic way I've ever heard in my life.
Oh.
I don't know who it was.
I don't know who it was.
Wasn't you, was it?
No, no. I love giving away the jackpot,
oh, yeah,
as
me
you
too.
well know.
Me too. It's our favourite thing.
It is our favourite
Isn't
thing.
it? Well, jet skiing, then giving away the jackpot. Those are our favourite things.
Geocaching. You love a bit of that, don't
Geocaching
you?
we love.
Yeah.
Jet skiing, geocaching, giving away the jackpot. Oh, charity work. Also lemon drizzle cake.
Oh, jet skiing. Actually, lemon drizzle cake. Before jet ski.
On a jet ski?
Yeah.
Yes, please. Oh, one hand. Oh, look at... What a mimer you are. You're jet skiing and eating lemon drizzle cake.
And what you can't see, I've got my phone in there. Geocaching.
Oh, I thought you were
going out there picking up a thing.
I thought you were giving away the jackpot.
Wait a minute. Back pocket. Foing. Jackpot. A couple on a pedalo.
That you will find out. That's how. If you win the jackpot, you find out that's how we give it out. It'd be Xander on a jet ski going.
Right. Well, if everyone's ready, let's play Pointless. Remember, it will be the pair with the highest score at the end of each round that gets eliminated, so you just have to keep your scores as low as you possibly can. Brilliant. Best of luck to everybody. Our first category this afternoon is the periodic table. There we are. Can you all decide in your pairs who wants to go first, who wants to go second, and whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. OK, and the question concerns chemical element letter patterns. Richard.
Yes, in a moment, Xander's going to show you 5 pairs of letters. We're looking for any chemical element on the periodic table that contains these 2 letters next to each other. So any of these letter patterns in any of those chemical elements.
Very nice indeed. This is going to be fun. So we're looking for any element on the periodic table that contains any of these formations of letters. Chemical elements containing AR, chemical elements containing ER, chemical elements containing IR, chemical elements containing OR, and chemical elements containing UR. So, Ricky, welcome back. Your third and final attempt at the Pointless Summit.
Yeah.
How are we feeling?
Not too bad.
OK, good. OK. Tell us more about yourself, Ricky.
So, yeah, like Claire said, we're from Cork, living in London with 3 years. In the spare time, we like to travel, go to a lot of football matches abroad.
So you go to football matches abroad. Who do you support?
Cork City, but they don't really go abroad, so I like to travel abroad with the Irish team.
I see.
Which is,
OK.
It's always interesting.
OK, now, Ricky, what are you going to go for?
I have one in my head. The more I think about it, it sounds wrong, but I'm going to go for it. Europium.
Europium. Europium, says Ricky. Let's see if it's right. Let's see how many of our 100 people said it. It is right. Ricky, I think that's a fantastic answer. And look at that! I suspected as much. It's a pointless answer. Which means it adds £250 to today's jackpot, takes the total up to £4,750, scores you nothing and gets us off to the best possible start. Brilliant. Well done.
That's terrific work, Ricky. Very well played. Yeah, I was thinking. I knew it was I knew it was an element, but I was thinking, I don't think it contains any of those. But of course, it's got the UR.
It's beautiful.
Beautifully done.
Exquisitely chosen. Thank you very much indeed. Now, James, welcome to the show. Tell us all about yourself.
Hi guys, I like to cook sometimes, I like to play sport, play football, trying to get better at golf with varying degrees of success, but I'll get there eventually.
Now, when you say I like to cook sometimes, this is not you just taking something out of a packet, piercing the lid and putting it in the oven. This is you with proper sharp knives and
I try and add
doing
a bit more flair than just
Okay.
opening a packet.
Do you have a signature dish, James?
Quite into making curries.
Do you make your own paste?
Sometimes I try to.
Yeah. And heat up the slightly lightly roast
toast the spices, yeah.
Toast the spices. What fun. Right, James, what are you going to go for?
I think I'm going to go for livermorium.
Livermorium. Livermorium. Whoa, that's just overqualified in this category. Let's see how many of our 100 people said livermorium. Livermorium is exactly right. Oh, can we equal the score of Ricky? Oh, no, so nearly. So nearly. Perhaps if it had only qualified on one of the counts, it might have been pointless. There we are. 1 is what it scores.
Yeah, ER and OR. It was discovered by Russian physicists, but named after an American institute that helped them out. So that's nice. The
That's
Russians named it
nice.
after something American.
Very nice. In the spirit of Concord.
Yeah, lovely.
Nice. Mike B. Mike B. Tell us more about yourself.
Tell us more. So, really, really busy father, father of triplets, which I've mentioned previously.
yeah.
My wife's a sister in the NHS. So, busy at weekends, making sure those kids are well looked after and entertained.
Absolutely. Are they fiercely competitive, the three of them?
I've got one that is the most competitive young man you'll ever likely to meet, and 2 that just look at him and go, "You get on with it, mate. We'll sit back and win the spoils." So, yeah, interesting.
Clever. Very clever dynamic they've got there. Mike, what are you going to go for?
I'm going to go for barium.
Barium. Let's see how many of our 100 people said that. Barium. Barium is right. 1 is our high score. Nothing is our low. 6 is where we end up with barium. Not bad.
It's a very good absorber of X-rays, so they use it. You get a barium meal when you have an X-ray, but it's not actual barium because that's highly
barium
toxic.
meal.
It's a compound.
Evie.
Hello.
Welcome back, Evie. Lovely to have you here. Tell us more about yourself, Evie.
So I'm a doctor. I work in Oxford. And in my spare time, I make clothes. I made this dress.
Did you? That's very satisfying. How long does it take you to make a dress?
So this one didn't take very long. It's also double-sided.
Reversible?
Yes.
You double the versatility of your... What's the inside?
So it's a lovely African print. If we don't make it on this one, you might
You
see
can
the
wear
other
it next
side.
time round. You see so much lighter in the luggage. It's just amazing.
That'd be. I quite want you to get knocked out now. That'd be quite cool. Wouldn't
The
it?
African print. OK. Thank you, Evie. Now, please, let's have another pointless answer, I think.
Oh, gosh.
We've set you up a bit there.
I think I'm going to play it safe and go for argon.
Argon, says Evie. Let's see how many of our 100 people said that. Argon is right. 48 for argon. Ooh, we might get to see the African print.
Yes, I think so. I think we may well. Yes, actually, its chemical symbol is in fact AR. It's also the element where all the other elements are kept in the back. If you want an element, you go to argon. You get a number of the chemical element you want, and you wait there, and it's brought out to you.
Thank you very much indeed. That brings us to the halfway point of our second round. Let's have a quick look at those scores. Nothing was the best score of the past, Ricky. Very well done to you. Then we travel up to 1, which is where we find James and Joe. 6 is where we find the Mikes. And then up to 48, where we find Evie and Izzy. So, Izzy, good luck. We're going to come back down the line now. Will the second players please step up to the podium? There we are. Izzy, welcome back to Pointless for your second appearance. Tell us more about yourself.
So I'm also a doctor in Oxford and have a few hobbies in my spare time. The main thing is probably gardening.
Gardening. So are you more of a flower and shrub gardener, or do you actually have a kitchen garden as well? Do you...
So I actually prefer sort of like the vegetable side of
The
things.
vegetable
and like
side of
tomatoes
things,
and
yes.
squash and onions and some herbs and things like that. So
Very good indeed. Now, Izzy, 48 is your score at the moment. You are quite substantially our high scorers.
Yeah. So I've got one in mind. It's going to be thorium.
Thorium,
Yeah.
says Izzy. OK, no red line for you as you're the high scorers. Let's see what happens when we say thorium. When it's right. Oh, look at that! Very well done indeed. Lizzie, another pointless answer. Fantastic. That adds another £250 to our jackpot, takes the total up to £5,000, scores you nothing, leaves your total at 48, and means if you do leave at the end of this round, you can leave with your heads held high.
It's a terrific answer. Did exactly what it did on the last show as well. A big answer followed by a pointless answer. So very nicely done. Yeah, named after these. One of the most abundant radioactive elements on Earth. Named after Thor.
The god.
The god.
Norse
yeah.
god. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
Good. That guy.
Yeah, Thor.
Yeah. Thank you very much indeed. Mike L., welcome back. Also your last attempt at the pointless final. Tell us more about yourself, Mike.
Like I say, we come from Paignton in Devon. We've got a zoo there. I used to work there for 10 years. A couple of parts of my job were moving animals around the country and across Europe. So 2 examples, driven a tiger from Dudley to Paignton. And
Wow, it's like the life of Pi, but in a van.
And a saltwater crocodile from Norfolk to Devon as well. So they were 2 of the good trips I did. So.
It's pretty impressive to get through to show 3 and still have that in your back pocket, isn't it?
I know, you've still got Tiger in the tank.
Yeah.
Right, Mike, there you are on 6. We're looking for 41 or less from you.
I think I'll be sensible and I'm going to say boron.
Boron, says Mike. OK, here is your red line. Can we get you below this red line with boron? Is right. You're through.
Ooh.
With room to spare. Look at that. 11 takes your total up to 17.
Yeah, it's a metalloid. Don't need to tell you that.
No, not me.
Atomic number 5 as well, so like it's really early.
There we are. Thank you. OK, now, Joe, welcome to the show. Tell us all about yourself.
I'm Joe. I'm from London. I guess one of my big pastimes is tennis, two-pace tennis.
Two-pace tennis.
I consider it cheating, really, to run too much for a ball.
Does your opponent also have to play two-pace?
No, often they don't stick to that rule.
Are you so astonishingly good? Is that what you're saying? That you limit your range?
I think it's probably a mixture of natural ability and natural laziness.
I see. Nice of you. Adding a little bit of laziness to the mix there. But keeping the door open to excellence. So there we are. Right, Joe, you're on 1. If you can score 46 or less, you are through.
I think there is one called germanium.
Germanium, says Joe. Let's find out if germanium can get you below this red line. It's absolutely germane. Look at that. Through you go to round 2. Oh, down to 1. But that's nice. There's parity between you and James. Look at that. Takes your total up to 2. Well done.
Yeah, the first semiconductors were made of with germanium, named after Germany.
Ah, I thought it was a geranium with a in the middle.
Yeah, like a metal geranium.
Yeah.
Germanium. Perhaps there's a rhododendron.
Maybe there is. That'd be fun. OK, now, Claire, welcome back. Tell us more about yourself, Claire.
I'm a dancer and I work part-time in retail. When I'm not working, like Ricky said, we like to travel. I get dragged along to the football matches.
Yes, I found this. You quite enjoy it.
Yeah, I do. It's a really good atmosphere.
Good.
We've been to a few good ones. We were in Athens last February.
That's with the Irish team, is it? Or
No, it was with the Athens team, the 2 teams in Athens, which was...
Oh, I see. Oh, so you'll travel and watch local derbies?
Yeah.
Excellent. I mean, there's a pointless round, surely, that you're going to just star in. Just European football. Well, let's see. Anyway, what are you going to go for in this this chemical round?
I'm going to go with this, hoping it's an element, and I'm going to say uranium.
Uranium.
Yes.
Uranium, says Claire. Sounds good to me. Here is your red line. Can you get below that with uranium? Let's find out. Uranium is right. 52 of uranium takes your total up to 52.
Yeah, unlucky. Yeah, big score for Uranium. In fact, I think it's the biggest score of all, Uranium, 52 points. Now, you could have had loads and loads of pointless answers here. Berkelium, you could have Californium, cerium, chlorine, copernicium, curium, darmstadtium, europium, which we've already had, which is great, fermium, fluorovium, meitnerium as a pointless answer, samarium, seaborgium, tellurium, terbium, lovely thorium as well, and zirconium. Those were the pointless answers there.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. So that brings us to the end of our first round. Means we have to say goodbye to one of our pairs. Oh, Claire and Ricky, I'm afraid this is where we say a proper farewell.
Yes.
This is it. Thank you so much for coming to play. It's been lovely having you on these last 3 shows. Thank you very much, Claire and Ricky. But for the remaining 3 pairs, it is now time for round 2. Well done, everybody. We made it through our chemical element round. Our category for round 2 this afternoon is famous figures. Can you all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. OK, and the question concerns people in the 2020 list of 100 Great Black Britons. Richard.
Yeah, on each board, I'm going to show you 6 descriptions of people who are on that list. We'll show you their initials as well. But who are the most obscure of these people, please?
Thank you very much indeed. Let's reveal our first board of 6 Great Black Britons. Formula One driver who is a joint winner of the 2020 Laureus Sportsman of the Year Award, LH. Dub poet who plays Jeremiah Jesus in Peaky Blinders, BZ. Middle distance runner who won gold medals in the 800 metres and 1500 metres at the 2004 Athens Olympics, KH. London-born supermodel who received the Fashion Icon Award at the 2019 Fashion Awards, NC. Youth worker who organised and led the Bristol bus boycott in 1963, PS. And 18th century writer and abolitionist who was the first person of African descent to vote in a British general election, IS. Joe, what are you going to go for? Who are you going to go for on that board?
Well, I think I know a couple there, but I certainly remember being about 10 years old and watching this person win gold at the Olympics. So I think I'll go for Kelly Holmes for the third down.
Kelly Holmes. Dame Kelly Holmes, says Joe. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Kelly Holmes. Kelly Holmes is right. That goes down to 12. Great start to the round. Well done, Joe.
Yeah, adding to the bronze that she'd won 4 years previously as well. She was 34 when she won both of those.
Amazing. Thank you very much indeed, Richard. Now, Mike L.
The only one I could be sure of up there, I think the London-born supermodel. I'll go for Naomi Campbell.
Naomi Campbell, says Mike. Let's see how many of our 100 people said that. Naomi Campbell. It is right. 12 is the only score we have posted at the moment, and Naomi Campbell takes us down to 46.
Broke a lot of barriers, Naomi Campbell.
Thank you. Izzy.
Yes.
This is your board. Do you want to talk us through it and fill in the blanks?
No, I only know one up there, so I'm just going to have to go for that one. The top one, Lewis Hamilton.
Lewis Hamilton, says Izzy. Let's see how many of our 100 people went for Lewis Hamilton. Well, it's right. 46 is our high score until now. 74 for Lewis Hamilton. There we are.
Yeah, he had a pretty good 2020, I think it's fair to say. Won the World Drivers' Championship, won the BBC Sports Personality of the Year for the 2nd time, and was knighted. It's not a bad year, is it?
Not bad.
Not bad at all. Now, do you know the dub poet?
Benjamin Zephaniah.
Benjamin Zephaniah, absolutely, would have scored you 8 points. These other 2, very well done at home if you said Paul Stevenson, the youth worker who organised and led those Bristol bus boycotts in 1963. And it's Ignatius Sancho is the answer to this last one. Would have scored you 2 points. So some nice low scorers on that board. Well done if you said one of them.
Thank you very much indeed. That brings us to the halfway point of our second round, and it means we can look at the scores. 12. Very well done indeed, Joe. Then 46 is where we find the Mikes, and then 74, Evie and Izzy. So, Evie, you get the new board. See if you can find a lovely low-scoring answer. And return the favour Izzy did for you in the last round. We're going to come back down the line now. Will the second players please step up to the podium? OK, well, let's put 6 more clues up on the board. All these people featured on that list of 100 Great Black Britons. Here we are, 6 clues. Rapper who had his 2nd UK #1 album with Heavy Is the Head in 2020, S. Nurse who set up the British Hotel to care for soldiers during the Crimean War, MS. Luther actor who played Nelson Mandela in the 2013 film Mandela Long Walk to Freedom, IE. Stylist who became editor-in-chief of British Vogue in 2017, EE. Comedian who won the Evening Standard Outstanding Newcomer Theatre Award in 2009 for his portrayal of Othello, LH. And former children's laureate who wrote the 2018 Doctor Who episode titled Rosa, MB. Now, Evie, how do you like this board?
A bit better.
Good.
I know two of them. Oh, I love Luther. I'm going to go for Stormzy instead for the top one.
OK, Stormzy, the heavy as the head. Let's see how many of our 100 people said heavy as the head. There's no red line for you as you're the high scorers at the moment. Stormzy. Stormzy's right. Down to go to 32, taking your total up to 106.
Yeah, well played. Beaten for the Mercury Prize in 2020 by Michael Kiwanuka.
Thank you very much, Richard. Now then, Mike B.
I wasn't aware that he'd turned his hand to acting, but the comedian who starred in Othello is Lenny Henry.
Lenny Henry says, Mike B, your target is 59. This is what it looks like. There's your red line. Let's see if we can get you below that with Lenny Henry. Lenny Henry is right, and it gets you through. 41 is your score, and 87 is your total.
Yeah, been on telly for over 45 years, Lenny Henry. Started as a very young man on New Faces.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. Now then, James, do you want to talk us through this board?
So I don't know the second one down. I think the third one down is Idris Elba. Then I'm not sure of the next one. And then the final one I think I'm going to go for, I think I remember reading her books as a child. I think it's Mallory Blackman.
Mallory Blackman, says James. So let's see. Here is your red line. Can we get you below that with Mallory Blackman? We can, and we do. Look at that. Very well done indeed. 5 for Mallory Blackman takes your total up to 17.
Ah, the wonderful Mallory Blackman. Yeah, very well played. The nurse every single primary school child in the country is telling you this.
Mary Seacole.
Mary Seacole, absolutely. Taught in all schools now. 8 points for Mary Seacole. Absolutely right about Idris Elba. Luther, he would have scored 53. Do you know this one, the stylist?
I do. Edward Enninful.
Edward Enninful, absolutely right. That's a pointless answer as well. Very well played.
Thank you very much indeed. Well, that brings us to the end of the second round. We have to say goodbye to another pair, and I'm afraid our high-scoring pair, we will see the African print dress. Our highest-scoring pair, I'm afraid, Evie and Izzy, it's you. Thank you so much for playing. Meanwhile, for the remaining 2 pairs, it is now time for the head-to-head. Huge congratulations, Joe and James, Mike and Mike. You're now one step closer to the final. And a chance to play for the jackpot, which currently stands at £5,000. But before we play the head-to-head, let's see if we can't throw further money into the jackpot by finding ourselves a couple of pointless answers. Here goes. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many styles of dance as they could. Richard?
Yeah, we're going to show you 6 styles of dance now. 2 of them are ones people have heard of. 2 of them are pointless answers. 2 of them are fakes, are red herrings designed to trip you up. Can you find the pointless ones?
Thank you very much indeed. OK, let's reveal our 6 potential pointless styles of dance. Here they are. We've got cumbia, lindy hop, mancala, merengue, takira, and tinikling.
You're well into dance, do you know these?
We've not heard of any of them.
No.
Lindy Hop's definitely a dance.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure of that.
Maybe Lindy Hop will be a scorer then.
I think the merengue is, isn't it?
Mancala.
But is it pointless?
Mancala as well.
Joe and James, you will go first. What are you thinking?
What do you think?
So we haven't heard of any of them. So we'll probably just take a punt on Tininkling.
Yeah, Tininkling.
Tinikling.
The bottom one.
Tinikling. Tinikling. Let us find out. Is tinikling a pointless dance style? Could be. Ooh, that's the first thing it had to be. It's a pointless dance style. Tinikling. Oh, this is exciting. Are we going to go for double pointless? Come on, the mics. This is your 3rd time you've been in the head-to-head, I think.
We're in the same boat, really, guys. So we're just going to pick one, and we're going to. Are you happy with Mancala? We'll go for Mancala.
Mancala. Mancala. Please, can Mancala be a pointless dance style? Let's find out.
Pointless, I'll learn it.
Oh, no! We'll never get to see you do the Mancala.
Phew.
I'm afraid not a pointless answer. There we are.
No, it's a board game, Mancala, unfortunately. Well done with Tinakling, which is a Philippines dance. Usually involves bamboo poles. But you knew that.
Yeah, we thought that.
Yeah. Let's fill the rest of these in. You're quite right that Lindy Hop scored points. Only scored 1 point, funnily enough. Cumbia as well is a point scorer. That's from
Oh, I thought
Colombia.
that was a red herring. I thought it was Kumbaya in a different...
Kumbaya,
Yeah, I'm not sure why that's related to dance styles, but there we are.
But yeah, we'd have found some way, wouldn't we? So there is a pointless answer remaining, and there's an incorrect answer remaining as well. So merengue and tequera.
Merengue has to be a dance, hasn't it? Merengue. Surely merengue.
Merengue, you think, is the dance?
Yes.
Merengue, let's take a look. Is merengue the other pointless answer? Absolutely right. Well done. And tequera is a type of salsa, but not a dance salsa.
I see.
A salsa. A
Thank you
sauce
very much.
salsa.
Thank you very much indeed. Well, you managed to find 1 pointless answer. Very well done indeed, which means you've added a further £250 to the jackpot, taking it up to £5,250. But who will be playing for it? Let's find out in the head-to-head. Now, first pair to win 2 questions will be playing for that jackpot. You are now allowed to confer before you give your answers, and very best of luck to both pairs. Here comes that first question, and it's all about island countries from space. Richard.
Yeah, we're going to show you 5 pictures now of island countries taken from space. This cost us a fortune, so it better go well. That's all I'm saying. Can you tell us what island countries there are? We'll give you alternate letters of their names as well.
Thank you very much indeed. Let's reveal our 5 island countries from space, and here they are. A, E-E-L-N. B, A-T. C, A-A-C. D, Y-R-S. And E, R-A-K. There we are. Joe and James, you're our golden couple, so you get to go first, so feel free to confer.
OK, we're going to go for B, which we think is Haiti.
OK, Haiti.
Yes.
Say Joe and James. Haiti. Now then, Mike and Mike. Do you want to talk us through that board?
A, we've got New Zealand. D, we've got Cyprus. E, we've got Sri Lanka. And I think we'll go for E, Sri Lanka. Wasn't quite sure on C.
Sri Lanka. So we have Haiti and Sri Lanka. Joe and James went for Haiti for B. Let's see if that's right. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Haiti. I'm afraid not. Haiti, I'm afraid. Which means, Mike and Mike, you merely have to be correct with Sri Lanka for E, and you will win this point. How many of our 100 people said Sri Lanka? Is it right? There we are. You've done it. Sri Lanka absolutely right. Scores 28. But crucially, it was correct, and it means after one question, Mike and Mike, you are up 1-0.
Well played. Yeah, I fell into the same trap, gents. I said Haiti, and so did 6 of our 100. If it makes you feel anybody, Malta is the answer, yeah. But Haiti fits so beautifully, and once you see it, you think, oh, yeah, I've got that one, I've got that one. You move on to the next one, don't you? 24 points. That's Malta, Gozo, and Comino. So A, we know is New Zealand. Would have scored you 49. C is the best answer on the board by quite some way, actually. I think maybe just because of the letters. Can you work that out?
No.
It's a very famous island.
Jamaica.
Jamaica is the
Jamaica.
answer, yeah.
Honestly.
Would have scored 5 points, though. Isn't that interesting?
It's
Because
Joe's
the letters
selection of
were
letters.
so-
Just, yeah.
Well done if you said that at home. And D, of course, is Cyprus.
Cyprus. Always looks a little bit like roadkill.
Or a swordfish, isn't it? A little
Or a
bit.
swordfish,
68 points for Cyprus, though. Very recognisable outline.
There we go. Thank you very much indeed. Richard, here comes your second question. Now, the mics get to go first. Joe and James, you have to win this one to stay in the game. So very, very best of luck. Our second question this afternoon is all about non-eponymous Shakespeare characters. Richard.
Yep, I'm going to show you 5 pairs of characters now from Shakespeare plays which have eponymous titles, but these characters do not appear in the title. Which plays are they, please?
Thank you very much indeed. Let's reveal our 5 pairs of Shakespeare characters, and here they are. We have got Benvolio Mercutio, Enobarbus Octavia, Banquo Duncan, Cordelia Goneril, and Polonius Ophelia. There we are. Mike and Mike, you get to go first.
Not our strongest area, so we're going to go for the bottom one, and we're going to say A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Polonius and Ophelia, Midsummer Night's Dream. Right, Joe and James, can you talk us through the board?
Ooh, so we think the top one's Romeo and Juliet. We think Banquo and Duncan is Macbeth. We're struggling on the others. Macbeth, do you think?
Yeah.
I think we're going to have to go third one down, Macbeth.
OK, Banquo, Duncan, Macbeth. So, Mike and Mike have gone Polonius and Ophelia, Midsummer Night's Dream. Let's see if that's right. Let's see how many of our 100 said it. If it is. Not A Midsummer Night's Dream, which means, Joe and James, you merely have to be correct with Macbeth and you will win the point. Let's see how many of our 100 said Macbeth for Banquo and Duncan. Banquo and Duncan, absolutely, from Macbeth. So, therefore, you are back in the game. Goes down to 51. But crucially, it was right. So, after 2 questions, it's 1-1. Well done.
Yeah, you're right about Romeo and Juliet as well for that top one, Benvolio and Mercutio. Would have scored, for your points, would have scored 26. How are you on the rest of these?
I can do all of those. Antony and Cleopatra,
Enobarbus and Octavia, Antony and Cleopatra. It's best answer on the board. Would have scored 3, Cordelia and Goneril.
King Lear.
King Lear. Would have scored you 21. Now, it's not Midsummer Night's Dream, it is...
Hamlet.
Hamlet, Polonius and Ophelia. And that would have scored you 24.
Thank you very much indeed. So, here comes your third question. This is the decider. Whoever wins this one goes through and plays for that massive jackpot. Best of luck to both pairs. Our third question is all about the pieces of art, Richard.
Yeah, the names are 5 pieces of art now that all begin the. We've missed a word out of each one. We're going to give you the first letter of that word. We're going to tell you the artist and the year in which it was done.
Thank you. Let's reveal our 5 works of art with the in their names, and we have got The Hay, W, John Constable, 1821. The Knight, W, Rembrandt van Rijn, 1642. The T, Frida's, Frida Kahlo, 1939. The G of Earthly Delights, Hieronymus Bosch, 1510. And The Battle of T, Joseph Mallord William Turner, 1808. There we are. Now, Joe and James get to go first this time.
OK, so the Haywain, the Knight, I don't know. The T, Fridas. I don't think I could be that. OK, I think we're going to play it safe, go for the top one and say John Constable, the Haywain.
The Haywain, say Joe and James, the Haywain. Right, Mike and Mike, talk us through the rest of that board, if you can.
The thing is, the Night Warden, the Night Watch, potentially second one down. Not sure, third one, the fourth one. But just looking at the dates on the bottom one, 3 years after what was, I believe, the Battle of Trafalgar. So the bottom one would say the Battle of Trafalgar.
OK, Battle of Trafalgar. So we have the Haywain and the Battle of Trafalgar. Joe and James went for the Haywain. Let's see how many of our 100 people got that for the Constable. Haywain is right. Oh, it's not bad, actually. 44 for the Haywain. Mike's L and B have gone for the Battle of Trafalgar for the Turner. Let's see how many of our 100 said that. It is the Battle of Trafalgar. Good chronology there. And it wins the point for you. Down it goes to 28. Very well done indeed, Mike and Mike. Third time lucky. After 3 questions, you are through to the final 2-1.
Yeah, 3 head-to-heads. Finally a jackpot round. Very well played. Battle of Trafalgar, nicely worked out. The Rembrandt is...
The Night Watch.
The Night Watch, yep. That would have scored you 23, and that's the G of Earthly Delights.
Garden.
Garden of Earthly Delights, Hieronymus Bosch. That would have scored you 19. Now, it can only be one of 2 things here.
3. 2.
Unlucky, yeah.
there we are.
A dual self-portrait by Frida Kahlo there. Would have scored 3 points, though.
There we are. Good.
If it had been 3, it probably would have scored 2 points.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. Well, the pair leaving us at the end of the head-to-head round. It's Joe and James. You're going to come back, and I'm sure, have no doubt you'll do phenomenally well in the next show. But it's been great having you on. Thank you so much for playing Joe and James. But for Mike and Mike, it is now time for the Pointless Final. Congratulations, Mike. And Mike, you've seen off all the competition, and you have won our coveted Pointless trophy.
Yes.
You now have a chance to win our Pointless jackpot, and at the end of today's show, the jackpot is standing at £5,250. So, what do you want to see? What will help you take that jackpot back to Paignton?
Mike's very keen to see guest Columbo murderers come up.
Watch a bit of
Extremely
Columbo.
niche. Yeah, absolutely. I'd be happy something around wildlife, nature, something of that ilk. So fingers crossed for something down that route.
OK, well, let's see what we've got for you today. Film clubs, Cornish art and entertainment, decades of golf majors, the year 2013.
Yeah, I think the year 2013 will be offer us a bit more broad. Film clubs, not sure where that's going. Cornish art and entertainment. There's only
Jethro.
the main. Decades of golf majors. No, I think the year 2013.
Okay, for the year 2013, please.
The year 2013, Richard.
OK, very best of luck, gents. Nice little jackpot to win. We're looking for any of the following, please. We are looking for any artist had a UK #1 single or album in 2013, according to the official charts company. We are looking for anyone credited with appearing in The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug from 2013, according to IMDb. Or we are looking for any players who reached the last 16 in either men's or women's singles at Wimbledon. So any of those 32 players, please. Very best of luck.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. Now, as always, you've got up to 1 minute to come up with 3 answers. All you need to win that jackpot is for just one of those answers to be pointless. Are you ready?
Okay. Yeah.
OK, let's put 60 seconds up on the clock. There they are. Your time starts now.
Okay, so...
Music, 2013. Have you got others? Because I think...
No. I've got some ideas around tennis.
Daft Punk.
Yeah.
Of Monsters and Men. Old J as well. I think they might have had a #1 album in 2013. What are you thinking on the tennis?
Or album.
Yeah,
so
it's either or, so...
I didn't even see The Hobbit in The Desolation of Smaug, so I've got no idea in terms of that.
No idea.
So 2013, 7 years ago, who could we go for in terms of tennis?
Don't know, I'm just focusing on the music side of things.
Go for music, because you know
I do
them.
think Old J. I do think of Monsters and Men, did it get to #1? Oh, Mumford & Sons?
It's better to go for three options in the 2013 music.
Yeah, I think go for all 3 in that one.
Yeah.
So what did I say? Monsters and Men, Old J.
10 seconds left.
Mumford & Sons. Who else? Oh, the XX.
Or the XX.
Was that before that?
OK, that is your time up. Sounds like you've got millions of ideas bubbling through there. What are you going to go for?
3 songs from
Okay.
2013, either singles or albums, please.
OK.
So first off, we go for Alt J.
Alt J.
Then, if I recall, of Monsters and Men.
Of Monsters and Men.
We'll go for the XX as well.
The XX. OK. Of those 3, which is your best shot at a pointless answer, do you think?
Old J. Or with Monsters and Men, maybe.
OK, of Monsters and Men, we'll put last, least likely to be pointless.
What did I say? The XX. Maybe.
OK, XX go, and then we put Alt J in the middle. OK, well, let's put those answers up on the board in that order, and here they are. We've got the XX, Alt J, and of Monsters and Men. Well, 3 good answers on the board there. If one of these turns out to be pointless and wins that jackpot for you, £5,250, what would you like to do with it? Mike L., you first.
I'd like to treat my mum and her poodle to a little weekend away to a little cottage or something.
Oh,
I think Mum
that's nice.
She deserves it. So
Mum's choice or poodle's choice? Which who'd have the casting vote on that?
Mum always,
Yeah, okay,
and then
good.
the poodle can go along as well, the man
Yeah, okay,
poodle.
very good.
Yeah, treat them to a little weekend away. I think it would be great. She deserves that.
Very nice indeed. Mike B., how about you?
I think I'd like to take the family over to Iceland and perhaps go do some whale watching or something like that.
Lovely. What a lovely thing to do. OK, well, 3 good answers. Let's hope one of these 2 can make those dreams come true. The XX was your least confident shot at a pointless answer. Let us find out. We were looking for any artist who had a UK #1 single or album in 2013. You've gone for the XX. Let's see how many of our 100 people said it. Oh, no.
That's the year.
Bad luck. Not the XX. Let's see if we can get you that jackpot of £5,250 with Alt J. How many of our 100 said that? I'm afraid not Alt J. Everything is now riding on Of Monsters and Men, your third and final answer. This has to be pointless for you to win that jackpot of £5,250. It also has to be right. Let's find out how many of our 100 people said Of Monsters and Men. Is it pointless? Oh, no, I'm so sorry.
Unlucky.
Bad luck. Oh. Well, listen, if it's any consolation, you gave those answers masterfully. I was very impressed. It sounded like you almost had a sort of an encyclopedic back catalogue knowledge of the hits of 2013, but I'm afraid you didn't manage to find the all-important pointless answer. I'm afraid you don't win today's jackpot, but you do win today's trophy, so very, very well done for that.
Yeah, it's been a great performance, and honestly, great answers in that final round as well. You were really, really unlucky. The XX, so with 2013 we were looking for, the XX had a #1 in 2012. And in 2017, Alt J had a #1 in 2014. So just missed 1 year either side. Of Monsters and Men, no #1s, but it's a good answer. Listen, even worse than that, Daft Punk and Mumford & Sons, both pointless answers. Both would have won you the jackpot. You changed your mind at the very, very, very last second on Mumford & Sons. Really, really unlucky. You did terrifically well. I'm going to take you through the pointless answers in the different categories now. I know you don't want to listen, but for the people at home. All of these would have won the jackpot. You could have said, there's Daft Punk, I'm afraid. David Bowie, Emily Sandé, Kanye West, Arcade Fire's a pointless answer, 1975, Bastille, Biffy Clyro, Britney, Disclosure, Rod Stewart, Rudimental, Sam Smith, Lord, Lily Allen, Kings of Leon, Jay-Z, Hertz, loads and loads of good pointless answers there. Now, let's take a look at the film. Aidan Turner, Evangeline Lilly, Ken Stott is a pointless answer. Stephen Colbert has a cameo. Everyone pointless apart from Martin Freeman, Ian McKellen, Benedict Cumberbatch, Stephen Fry, Kate Blanchett, Orlando Bloom, Richard Armitage and Sylvester McCoy. Every other actor in that was a pointless answer. And the tennis players now, lots of pointless answers here as well. Agnieszka Radwanska was a pointless answer. Juan Manuel Del Potro, Laura Robson, Thomas Burdick. You could have had Jesse Janovic, David Ferrer, Bernard Tomic, Andres Seppi, Linar, Kirsten Flipkins, Yuzny is a pointless answer. Petra Kvitova is a pointless answer. Sabine Lisicki is a pointless answer. Got through to the final. Sloane Stephens as well, a pointless answer. Very well done if you said any of those at home. I've seen some unlucky jackpot rounds before, but that's really unlucky, gents.
Thank you, Richard, and thank you, Mike. And Mike, I'm so sorry you didn't win our jackpot today. That'll therefore roll over onto the next show, when we will be playing for £6,250. Join us then to see if someone can win it. Meanwhile, it's goodbye from Richard.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.